Hey y'all, I'm Anna Alexander and welcome to my basement on this cold first day of snow this year in the Seattle area. As I'm about to watch for the first time Outlander Season 4, Episode 2, where Jamie and Claire are living the American dream of having their lives be in mortal danger at every turn. I remember saying before that it would be nice if they had some moments where tragedy was not falling on them. And a lot of you said, but that would be boring. Here's the thing, it can be boring, but at other times it's a nice little break from the stress. I need them to have a win at times. Season 2, we had Preston Pans. They got a win. It's a terrible win, costly win, but at least it was a win. I don't think they've had a win. Defeating Galus, was that a win? I guess so. But man, I just need a few little moments of breaking from constant danger. And it sounds as if that's not going to happen because we have met Stephen Mothertruckin' Bonnet. Stephen Bonnet must die. I don't care. Kill him, torture him. He must go. When I walked past my Outlander crew I saw for the first time today, I just walked past her desk and I was like, Stephen Bonnet must die. And she had to pause and was like, oh, because that's what it meant. And she goes, yes, he must die and you will say that often. To which I asked, is that supposed to be my new drinking game now? She said, yes. So that may be my new drinking game. James saying Dinnafash and just wanting Stephen Bonnet to die. Terrible. Leslie got killed cold blood. No reason at all whatsoever. I thought Claire had it going. I thought she was gonna get her win by swallowing the rings. She didn't swallow them fast enough, so now Jamie's ring is gone. Leslie's dead. Anything they might have had to help them along their journey, gone. It's all gone. So, they're gonna be a little bedraggled when they show up on Aunt Jocasta's door, aren't they? But I know I'm ready to get to it, and I'm so glad that you are here with me. So I'm gonna snuggle in with all the layers today, and I hope you do too. So let's just get to it. Is Jamie gonna feel guilty that he couldn't protect his people? He had like 8 guys on him though, right?
Leslie deserved a decent burial. What a shallow grave on a riverbank.
There she is, folks. River Run.
Looks lovely.
Uncle Jamie, you didn't tell his great-aunt Jocasta has a home befitting a king.
Yeah, that is much different architecture than they have out at Lilybrock, isn't it?
When we had coin in the gemstones, now we're penniless.
Did they take her her medicine box?
Blessed bride, you've grown to be a giant.
It's no more than the bairn when last you saw me.
This is your great-nephew, Ian Murray, Jamie's youngest son.
I'm very pleased to meet you, great-aunt Jocasta.
Your great-nephew has brought a posy of flowers for you.
Ah.
It is a long time since my sight has left me. Though I still see shapes and shadows, I am now gifted with hearing that would be the envy of many a gossip, and the ability to scent truth from lies, if you catch my meaning.
Beautiful.
You're welcome to stay here as long as you need.
No, I'll not be a burden to you.
No, I don't intend to stay that long.
Bless you, dears, your kin.
This house better not burn down. I've got terrible feelings. This whole estate's gonna be razed to the ground.
Burden to have a man of such strength and mind for business at my disposal.
You're familiar with my business dealings.
I may not have my sight, dear, but I've been keeping an eye on you.
How?
Between your experience
How?
in Paris with Jared and the trade you mastered in Edinburgh,
Who's feeding her information?
who else am I to lavish my attentions upon?
And so she never had children. Was that it?
Oh,
Christ.
Rollo, he chased a creature I've never seen
Skunk.
before. Something akin to a badger.
Sir, mistress. Please, call me Claire.
She's gonna keep trying, isn't she?
Sassenach, you haven't had much to say since our arrival.
Because Aunt Jocasta's got a lot of slaves. A lot.
As you say, one day it'll all be different.
But not for another 100+ years.
A dalliance with a skunk is no laughing matter, boy.
Aye.
But Mother Nature, in all her bounty and wisdom, offers us a chance to wash the odor away. Bathing in vinegar.
Does that work? Now?
I've been allowing my beard to grow. Seems the men of the mountains hereabouts have hearty ones.
You've a long wait on your hands.
Oh, he didn't have a good look about him in that nanosecond that we saw him.
Our forests yield 200 barrels of turpentine monthly. But
Uncle Hector and you have achieved a great amount here, Auntie.
So if her husband's gone, I'm curious as to who she runs that with that's not going to take advantage of her.
I found my slaves to be more productive when treated with benevolence. My slaves are quite happy here, I assure you. Why, only a few have tried to run away over the years. What brings you here, Lieutenant?
It is said that wheat is fetching a good price at 5 shillings a bushel. Cultivated on your fallow lands along the river may fetch you a handsome profit.
The cultivation of wheat along the river will likely bring you a bushel of regret. The land along the river is too damp for the grain to flourish. Rice, however, would thrive along the river.
12 shillings per hundredweight would bring a fine profit, now that I think on it, and it would keep the slaves well fed.
Ooh.
You seem to have a profound knowledge of agricultural practices, Mr. Fraser.
Was Lieutenant Wolf trying to trick her?
I shall return to discuss further contracts with you when you are not engaged in hosting kin.
What colour is your hair, dear? I hadn't thought to ask. You sound a bit fair, somehow. Tell me, how do you find Riverrun?
That's all very overwhelming.
What is it that you most admire?
I've never stayed anywhere quite like it.
She's
cadence
using her
of your voice
superpowers.
tells me what you're no saying plainly enough, dear. You harbour some disapproval.
The party attracted the cream of Cross Creek society. I found myself discussing local politics with Lieutenant Wolf, as well as Jocasta's friend and advisor, Farquhar Campbell. You can hardly blame either group for wanting their voices to be heard.
Look at her new hairstyle.
The Indians were on these lands first, were they not?
How charmingly naive. Were it not for the Romans, the good natives of Great Britain would be sheltering in dwellings little better than mud huts today. The savages should be thankful we're here to spare them a similar fate.
Well, Claire's gonna have a time. She's gonna have a time.
Dear friends, please gather round. But there is another reason I've brought you together on this fine day.
What excellent news it must be.
Indeed I have, Mr. Campbell. I've been agonizing over the matter of to whom I shall leave my beloved Riverrun. You need wonder no more that I've decided to name my nephew Jamie as my heir. It is my intention that Jamie should act as master of the estate immediately.
Okay.
I leave Riverrun in his hands.
So that means that's where they're staying? Not back in, where were they at, the Carolinas? And who did she now piss off? Who has she made an enemy of?
There's no doubt she's a Mackenzie. Publicly naming me heir without telling me first was calculated.
Mm-hmm.
Something Colin or Dougal would have done.
I can't own slaves, Jamie.
Oh, Claire.
But who else am I to share my bounty with? My children have passed, and I care for you as though you were my
Oh, her
own.
children passed away. So if Jamie hadn't magically appeared, who would she have left it to, I wonder?
I want to free the estate's slaves.
That's not quite so easy as you think it is.
You lost your head.
My wife and I don't wish to own slaves.
Liberty is granted only by permission of the county court.
Ooh.
You must prove that each one of your slaves has performed a meritorious service. You'd yet need to post a bond, ensuring the slave's good conduct. And you'd need to offer sureties. Expensive endeavor.
You cannot put a price on freedom.
But the Assembly can. £100 sterling a slave.
Which means you have to be really tricky about how you go about it.
What about the other plantation owners? You're threatening a way of life.
Notes for later. Pin has been stuck.
Nothing will change under these laws.
I feel that maybe the truth of the matter. We could reconsider Governor Tryon's offer. I ken you advised me against it, but with the land granted from Tryon, we wouldn't have to own slaves.
Accepting Tryon's offer will lead us to fighting in another war.
Pumpkin, you're going to be fighting in another war anyway.
There's been an unfortunate event, a matter of bloodshed. I need you to act as my representative in this grave matter of justice. Overseer Burns was attacked by one of my Negroes.
Oh,
He cut the
no.
man's ear clean off.
Well, then he'll need a physician.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Do you have a pistol, Mr. Fraser?
Oh, no. Let me guess, the punishment is death, which they expect Jamie to carry out.
Bart burns like a pine tree with his axe. Right after Burns struck him with a lash.
Mr. Fraser will be aiding me in the oversight of Rufus's execution.
The law of bloodshed demands it.
Any slave guilty of the assault of a white man shall be put to death with a judge and representative present.
Oh, what is that? Oh, no.
We have to help him.
Oh, you guys have to be delicate. Claire, you can't just go running in there like, blah, blah, blah. You gotta be stealthy. You have to be stealthy.
There'll be less of your friend's face for my wife to tend to.
She's gonna treat him first. Ooh, I can see why. I see why, but still.
Now, please.
Identify that.
Bring it in here. Ian, get out my knives and needles. They're clean.
Oh, she does have her box. Yay. She has crap light source. They do love to show the medical scenes really accurately, don't they?
Hold him down, lad.
Swabs.
Feeder, take Mary away.
Give the girl a chair. Give the girl a chair.
McNeil is at this very moment spreading word of your nephew's
No
exploits.
concern of theirs. Rufus is under my protection.
Subtlety.
Your error of judgment is grave, sir.
We cannot punish Jamie for his ignorance. Please, afford me an opportunity to put this matter right.
He survived the surgery. I intend to do whatever I can to make sure he recovers.
I don't think he'll be allowed to live that long.
Forgive me for being forthright, mistress, but persist along your path, and Rufus will face a fate far worse than death. Once the overseers come, they will tear the limbs from his body and leave what little is left behind as a warning for the rest of us if we disobey the law.
It was charitable of them to grant us an opportunity to rectify this lamentable occurrence.
Is there no other way, Auntie?
There was, if he had just thought it through.
Fergus and Wolf will be the least of our concerns.
Is she regretting naming him as heir now?
I have until midnight, Claire. To be executed.
No.
Claire?
No, I can't do that.
There was another way.
He gotta fake his death. He gotta fake his death.
If you do save him, what then?
Where's he gonna go?
Well, we could say that he escaped.
Condemn the others.
Mm-hmm.
If a guilty man does not take his share of the blame, then his fellow slaves must be punished instead.
Oh, that was quick. Super quick.
Mr. Fraser!
Oh, not on the front porch. Who are these fuckers?
Your wife's foolishness will get us all killed.
Unfortunately, that is true.
I assure you, Rufus will pay for his crimes. Lawlessness will not be tolerated at Riverrun. Going to make you a tea.
You better brew that tea fast, pumpkin.
Tell me about your sister, Benna.
I made you. The dream I might see my sister again one day.
In the eye of the Father who created me. Pour down from heaven.
They're gonna desecrate this poor man's body. I just know they are. I know they are.
As angels and saints do in heaven.
String him up, lads!
And they're too dumb to realize he's already dead. But it doesn't matter to them at all. So my pin. So my pin. So many pins. I had so many pins. For all the education Claire has had, for the times that she has lived, Frank was a historian, a scholar, historian scholar. Brianna was an American history historian scholar. Claire should have heard at some point in time how the history of man unfolds. And as terrible as slavery is, yes, it should not exist. She should know good and well. As much as you would like things to be different, they're not. You have to be stealthy when changing the world. Does it suck? Yes. Does it flame with injustice? Yes. But Claire's self-righteousness endangers so many people, and this has happened before. Other seasons where she just barrels in guns blazing and causes more death than she's trying to save. And at some point in time, I want her to learn how to be smarter when she's trying to subvert injustices. Did they write it? It'd be interesting to know if in the book she's a little bit smarter and they just kind of crammed it in to this episode because the writers are trying to rush to make a point, so it wasn't done with any subtlety. Because this just felt like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You need to be sneaky about this because you saw the mob that was at the doorstep in a nanosecond. Who are your defenders if they decide to come back again and again and again? It looks like a river run has no defenders. What you doing? So it makes for me not liking Claire. I did not care for Claire this episode because she was endangering people unnecessarily with her self-righteousness. I hope this is something she grows out of quickly because I want to root. I don't want to root it. By rooting against her, it means people will die. I want her to be just smarter. So other pin is, okay, so how do you be stealthy? How do you be sneaky? So Rufus is hanging. Okay, that was terrible. Bring him down. Take him away. Say that he died on the way to the house. Treat him and then figure out how to get him someplace safer. Because he can't just release him to run wild because he'll be scooped up and put on to another estate where he could be treated worse or better. He can't just run around willy-nilly. You have to be, again, stealthy. But if they wanted to give him at least an opportunity, I would have faked his death and said he died on the way to whatever. It was a win-less situation. And that sucks. It so sucks. So now we've got, does Aunt Jocasta keep Jamie as heir? Does she move on? Who was she gonna name heir if Jamie hadn't showed up? So whoever that person was, are they now angry that their perhaps inheritance is now gone? Do they try to cause more trouble? How do you subvert the horrible spotlight you've just shown on yourself? Yay! That was an enjoyable episode, but it was an interesting history lesson. It was an interesting history lesson if you didn't understand the nuances of life as an estate owner in that time. So yeah, y'all, thanks for sitting with me for that 54 minutes. I do hope that you join me again for more adventures, especially if you've hit subscribe. You'll know when the next video drops in the reaction, which will hopefully show up here-ish somewhere in a few seconds. Please take care of yourselves, try to stay warm, stretch your bodies, and then come back and see me. So until next time, y'all.